Earless Hoichi. Once upon a time, in the town of Shimonoseki in Yamaguchi Prefecture, there was a temple called Amidaji, a temple of the Shingen section. At this temple lived a young blind biwa player named Hoichi. Since childhood, Hoichi had been blind and had learned to play the biwa, a traditional Japanese lute, to perfection. His skills had surpassed even those of his master, the head priest of Amidaji. The head priest, recognizing Hoichi's exceptional talent, had taken him in at the temple. Hoichi was particularly skilled at reciting the tale of the Hyaku, especially the part about the Battle of Dan no Yura. His narration was so moving that it brought tears to anyone who heard it. Long ago, the final battle between the Taira and Minamoto clans took place at Dan no Yura. The Taira clan, including women, children, and the young emperor Antoku, were defeated and perished, sinking to the bottom of the sea. This tragic end of the Taira clan was the part of the story that Hoichi recited so beautifully. One hot summer night, the head priest went out for a memorial service, leaving Hoichi alone at the temple. As Hoichi practiced his biwa, he heard the grass rustle in the garden and stop right in front of him on the veranda. A voice then called out to him. "Hoichi! Hoichi!" "Yes? Who's there?" "I cannot see," Hoichi responded. The voice replied, "I am a servant of a nobleman who lives nearby. My lord wishes to hear your biwa and storytelling." "My biwa?" "Yes. I will guide you to his residence. Follow me." Thrilled that a nobleman wanted to hear his music, Hoichi eagerly followed the servant. With every step, he heard a clinking sound, realizing that the servant was a warrior clad in armor. They passed through a gate and a large garden, entering a grand mansion. In a large hall filled with people, he heard the rustling of silk and the clinking of armor. A lady-in-waiting spoke, "Hoichi, please recite the tale of the Hyaku with your biwa." "Which part would you like to hear?" asked Hoichi. "The part about the Battle of Dan no Yura," she replied. "Understood," said Hoichi. Hoichi began to play his biwa and recite the tale. The sounds of rowing boats, crashing waves, creaking bows, and soldiers' cries filled the hall. His storytelling transported everyone to the tragic battlefield. As he reached the sad end of the Taira clan, sobs could be heard from all around, and when Hoichi finished, silence filled the hall. The lady-in-waiting then said, "My lord is very pleased. He wishes to hear you perform every night for the next 6 nights. Do not speak of this to anyone at the temple." "Yes, I understand," Hoichi replied. The next night, Hoichi followed the armored servant to the mansion again. After performing, he returned to the temple, but the head priest caught him. "Hoichi, where have you been at this hour?" Hoichi remained silent, honoring his promise not to reveal anything. The head priest, sensing something was amiss, instructed the temple servants to follow Hoichi if he went out again. On the following night, despite heavy rain, Hoichi left the temple, and the servants followed him. However, Hoichi's swift steps soon disappeared into the darkness. The servants searched everywhere and finally found Hoichi in the cemetery. Lightning flashed, revealing Hoichi drenched in rain, playing his biwa in front of Emperor Antoku's grave, surrounded by ghostly flames. The servants, realizing Hoichi was possessed, dragged him back to the temple. The head priest decided to protect Hoichi from the spirits by writing holy sutras all over his body. "Hoichi, your extraordinary talent has attracted the spirits of the Taira clan. Tonight, do not respond or move, no matter what happens. If you do, the spirits will take your life. Sit in meditation and remain still." The head priest left for a village wake, leaving Hoichi to meditate. Soon, the ghostly voice called out, "Hoichi, Hoichi, I have come to take you." But Hoichi remained silent and still. The ghost entered the temple and saw Hoichi's biwa but no player. Finally, the ghost saw Hoichi's floating ears. "Ah, the priest's doing. I cannot touch him, but I can take these ears as proof I tried to summon him." The ghost ripped off Hoichi's ears, but Hoichi did not move or cry out. When the head priest returned and found Hoichi, he saw Hoichi's earless, bleeding head. "Oh, your ears. I forgot to write the sutras on them. How unfortunate. Let's get you to a good doctor immediately." Despite losing his ears, Hoichi no longer faced the spirit's harassment and healed with medical care. Hoichi's story spread, and his biwa performances became legendary. He became known as Earless Hoichi, and his name became famous far and wide.